Jay, give us an update on D Hall.
D'Angelo did a somersault, landed on his back, and bruised his back. And he's walking around a little bit better today, just a little sore, but I don't imagine it being very long.
And I also wanted to ask about Deshaun Jackson. Is it a regular ankle sprain or high ankle sprain? How long do you expect him to?
I expect him back very soon. He's running individual routes already, and he looks fine doing that. He just going to continue doing individual. He's doing some extra running after practice, but full speed cutting, we're going to hold off probably another day or two and then get him back into full go action. Hopefully he'll be ready by Monday night.
Jay, Lake Seastrunk kind of hurt his foot, but yet kept going and finished out the practice. A, update on him, and B, how important is that for especially a kid in a battle for a roster spot to kind of persevere even if he's not 100%?
It's important for these guys to play through the nagging injuries, obviously ones that keep them out we don't want to do a lot of damage to, but everybody's got some kind of bump or bruise right now, I would imagine, and if you can play through it, it's great. And he has played through a sore foot for the last couple days, might be a week, but he's not on the injury report, so I imagine he'll be full go again tomorrow.
Jay, with Hall, that somersault that you mentioned, was that during team drills? When did that?
It was an individual. We were doing one-on-ones in the red zone. And Andre caught a fade, and he went for the ball and then just did a somersault and landed on his back kind of awkwardly, so to speak. He just got up a little sore. They carted him off just for the dramatic
Basically.
Yeah. Exit. He could have walked off. Would have made it a lot easier on me today.
Just a couple other guys, too, Jay. Red, Sharpton, and Arakpo, too.
Sharpton's probably got the worst. He's got the high ankle sprain. He's probably going to be the longest. Rakpo has just a thigh contusion. He's going to be fine. We just kept him out today to give him a break. And who was the other one? Silas Red has a minor ankle sprain, and he will be ready hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see how he's doing.
Jay, we know Chris Thompson's injury history, I guess. How tough is that ankle injury keeping him off the field if he can't, if he's out for a week or two, he's fighting for a roster spot here. How does that affect him?
It's disappointing. It's unfortunate for him because he was progressing very well, and he needs the reps to do what we're going to ask him to do on game day. And if he's not available to get these reps, it's going to hurt his progress. But injuries happen, unfortunately, to him. It seems like more often than not. He's got to figure out a way to stay healthy, but his is a low ankle sprain, and it probably will be another 5 to 6 days, I would think. Just a matter how quickly it heals, you never know. But he's got to get back on the field. There's no question about it. He is in a tight battle.
Okay, back to Seastrunk. One of the things he obviously needed to work on coming in here was receiving, pass catching. How's he progressing in that department? He's
doing okay in that department. The major thing that he has to work on is pass blocking. He's good out of the backfield. He's got decent hands. He obviously can run the ball. He's very fast. But as far as just fundamentals of running backs are concerned, he's a little bit behind the eight ball as far as his footwork, his blitz pickups, some of his route definition. A little sloppy right now. Just he hasn't been asked to do that at the University of Baylor. It's the first time he's been asked to do that, and Randy's doing a good job with him, being very patient. And he's coming along at a slower pace than I would probably like him to come along, but he's working very hard at it, and hopefully we have 3 preseason games left that he'll be able to show us that he can handle some of these blitz pickups in practice and in games.
You've got a lot of talented young guys, rookies, who maybe would benefit from a year on the practice squad, a seasoning year, maybe a redshirt year. But when you do that, obviously other teams can poach them. How do you approach that kind of calculus of exposing them like that?
Yeah, it's tough. That's something we'll have to talk about as a staff, the risk-reward situation. But there's a lot of teams, when teams make their final cuts, a lot of teams are in the same boat. They're in the same predicament. They don't, when you poach somebody, you got to put them right on your active roster. And then you're playing a regular season game, and, sometimes it's not always easy to do. So, we just got to hope the fact that our 53 guys that we have active are the ones that we want, and then we're able to keep the practice squad guys and develop them, for this year, later in the year. A lot of times they get activated or next year, like you're saying. So, that's a calculated risk, but it's one that we have to take. We don't have a choice.
Jay, kind of along the lines of Chris Thompson, another guy who has to kind of get back on the field, Phillip Thomas. For a guy like that, he knows he has to get back out there, but he wants to take his time. But he missed all last summer. What's the thought process with him for a guy in that situation as far as getting back on the field, but yet not rushing it, but needing to prove something.
You're exactly right. It's a slippery slope. You know, you push them out there, you get out there too quick, you re-injure the hamstring, and now you're in the same boat or worse. So it's important for Philip to get this thing 100% healthy, and he's got to show us what he can do. There's no doubt. He's a lot of the same lines as Chris Thompson. You know what I mean? They have promise, and we're excited about what they can do, but we got to see it, and we can't see it if they're hurt all the time. So injuries happen, like I said, we understand that, but we got to figure out a way to get them healthy and get them on the field as soon as possible so they can show us.
Coach, it looked like you were yelling at the wide receivers during one of the drills. Were they doing something you didn't like?
I yelled a lot today. Receivers, quarterbacks, linemen, defensive linemen. We had a couple false starts today. It wasn't the most crisp practices I've ever seen. But, yeah, nothing really specific. You know, the receivers might have been blocking. It might have been a sloppy route. They dropped a couple balls today. We dropped a couple yesterday. So just trying to clean it up, man, keep everybody on the same page moving forward.
Some of the struggles and you guys are running your 2-minute offense, just things not clicking. Is that them still getting familiarized, or is it fatigue this late in camp, you think, or what do you attribute it to?
A little bit of everything. You know, there's some good pass rush. You know, our protection might be a little unsound, so to speak. It could be a poor read by the quarterback or a poor route, like we talked about there. There's a lot goes into 2-minute offense, and the tempo's been fine. I think the communication's been fine. It's just the execution hasn't been that great, and we have to continue to do it. We're going to do 2-minute every day until Houston, until we start to master it. But we just started it, 4 or 5 days ago, so we're still pretty new to the process. And plus Pierre, Deshaun, we have a lot of guys that are out too.
Jay, for the bubble guys, can one good or bad performance sway you one way or another, or is it something you got to see their performance and measure it over the course of?
You have to measure it. You have to measure it. But some performances are more important than others. Like a performance on game day might be a little bit more important than a Tuesday afternoon practice. But you can't discount what they do during practice if they play poorly in a game. You have to try to measure it, like you're saying, and look at the total package, the total thing they put together, the total body of work, and that's something we have to judge, and what the future might be, how much better they're going to get. Are they going to get bigger? Are they going to get stronger? How fast they learn. There's a lot of things that go into making our final decision, but performance on this field speaks volumes.
Jay, I talked to Adam Hayward before, and he said he was pretty touched by the fact that you guys named him, for at least for the game, the special teams captain. That's something he was used to for 3 years in Tampa Bay, but how much does having a guy like that with that much experience on those units really kind of set the tone for what you guys want to do?
Well, when you have a special team coach like Coach Scott Week, and we're trying to preach the importance of special teams, it's very important to have players that buy in, and nobody buys in more than Adam, and he's a great leader. He makes everybody accountable on a unit. It's one thing having coaches yell at you all the time, but to have players hold players accountable, that's what he does, and that's what he's great at. He's obviously a great special team player. That's well proven, well documented, but his leadership on that unit is also something that he thrives in.
Coach, I want to follow up a little bit on the wide receivers questions, and in general, what do you like about your wide receiving core? Can you talk about the speed and the depth?
Yeah, I love the depth. Exactly. That's what I like the most about it. Deshaun and Pierre have been out. Jordan Reed's been out with the stomach virus. So there's 3 pretty good targets. And then you throw in Ryan Grant, who's done a great job. Aldrick Robinson's outstanding camp. And some of the young guys, Ross and Doss, they've stepped up and make some plays also. So it's been good to see the depth of the unit continue to show us what they can do. But also, they're different types of guys. You got your speed in Aldrick. You got your toughness in Andre Roberts. He's had a great camp. Pierre's a tough guy. You got the speed with Deshaun. Ryan Grant's like a surgeon. He runs routes, very disciplined, very good. So we got a good depth and a good group of different types of receivers that we can choose from.
Coach, I had a chance to had a chance to talk to Jason Hatcher after practice. He feels like he's ahead of schedule. He's been in pads the past 2 days. What have you seen from him out there?
Well, he's moving around good, and that's the big thing. And like I said yesterday, the big thing is just get him out there, do these drills, make him work it, and then see how he feels after. It's the day after, the night after his drills, make sure there's no recurring problem there. And so far there hasn't been. So we're very encouraged with his progress. We just got to keep pushing him more each and every day and see how he reacts and get him up to speed, and he'll be ready to roll. But he's chomping at the bit, I know that, but we just want to make sure we're very careful with him, and the trainers are doing a great job with him and the process and the timing of it.
Coach, Different coaches do captains in different ways. How are you determining that? Are you leaving it to the team? Are you doing your coaches to do it? I mean,
I picked them just for the preseason games. That was just my pick. That's my first decision as a head coach, so I chose them. During the regular season, we'll decide how it goes after the preseason. We might vote. I haven't decided yet, but I like the group that I picked already with D'Angelo and Trent and obviously Adam. Those are the most seasoned guys with the best performances. The body of work, I think, has been proven on the field, and they're natural leaders. Thanks, Coach. All right, thank you.